Guys, welcome on into the stream. Let me know if you can hear and if you can see me, if everything sounds all right. There we go. Yes, so the time has finally come. I'm finally getting the opportunity to explore some more Judas Priest, in which today I will be doing a full album reaction to Sad Wings of Destiny. Oh no, I'll put Sad Wings in the title. Let me change that really quick. But yes, I'm going to be reacting to the album Sad Wings of Destiny. This is all because you guys have told me that this album is fantastic. It is a masterpiece, especially for Judas Priest fans. A lot of you older fans have said that this was the album that got you into the band, and that there's some fantastic songs on here. Now, originally I had reacted to the song Victim of Changes the other day, and when I say that song was a masterpiece, it was a phenomenal piece of music. And from there I was like, yo, I gotta hear which album this came from, and y'all recommended Sad Wings of Destiny, so here we are. So after doing a little bit of research, I found that this was their second album. Hold on, let me cut this. This music's kind of distracting. But yeah, this was the sophomore album from Priest, and from what I read, this was where they kind of consolidated their sound. I'm guessing that this is the album where they've kind of picked a style and decided to run with it, or even create a foundation. Because originally in their first album, Rock a Roller, I think that's what it was called, it seems like there was a lot of turmoil. Because at this point in time, the band was still coming together. I believe there's tracks from the original lead singer, Al Atkins, in which he left the band because of financial reasons. I guess they weren't making any money. There was no record deal. And so, you know, he had a family to support, so he had to get up out of there. And from there, you know, they replaced him with Rob Halford, and, you know, still put together an album. But this album right here, Sad Wings of Destiny, this is where the band started to come into their own. And so we're gonna go ahead and check this out. Y'all can leave your thoughts in the comment section. You can also leave your numbers out of 10 as we listen to these songs. I have the lyrics pulled up because when I do these album reactions, I like to follow along with the lyrics and everything. But what I want from you guys the most, especially from you long-term fans who have been familiar with this band, is I want to know the reception when this album came out. You know, and we can always say things were great or it was a masterpiece in hindsight. But for those of y'all who were there in 1976, whether this band was on your radar or not, I want to know from y'all. Because I can read the wiki, and the wiki say, oh, this album was okay, or it sold great. I want to know how it was for the rock and rollers at the time, for the fans, for the non-fans. What was the actual reception to this when they heard it? Did your friends at school say, yo, you got to check out this album, this thing rocked? Or, hey, have you heard of these guys, Priest? They suck. Because a lot of times, from what I found, that's the case. A lot of times people will be like, hey, did you hear about this new band that's ripping off Metallica? They're named Megadeth, and they mega suck. You know, or whatever. There's always a different reception than what the critics will paint in the newspaper or the articles or whatever. So I want to know from y'all, how did the fans feel about, how did the kids feel about this when this album dropped? Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this kicked off. Let me see. Let's go ahead and bring this display up over here. And if you're in the chat and you're rocking with me today, make sure you say what's up. Let me know you're hanging out with me. Smash the like button. Please, please smash the like button. It helps the video do well and all the other good stuff. And subscribe to the channel. If you're, you know, if you're a long-time lurker, just, you know, subscribe. We don't bite. All right. There we go. All right. Dominican Man of War fan, what's up, man? All right, here we go. Victim of Changes. Now, the first track on this album, or Sad Wings of Destiny, The first track on this album is Victim of Changes, which I am very familiar with this song as I just heard it for the first time the other day, but I'm willing to listen to it again. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Y'all can leave your thoughts in the comment section, but let's go. Or not. Oh, there we go. All right. Madness, what's up? Dylan Cat. Now I read these guys were inspired by Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, you know, the big four of the 70s, and Queen. way down.
Once she was wonderful, once she was fine, once she was beautiful, once she was mine.
Oh, God.
Changes come over her body. She doesn't see me anymore. Now changes come over her body. She doesn't see me anymore.
Wow. All right, guys. Once again, this was Victim of Changes. And I must say this. This sounded better the second time around hearing this. Even though I knew what to kind of expect from the song, I think because of that, it allowed me to pick up some other things that I didn't notice before. And it just helped me have a better appreciation for it. And I know I'm not crazy, but this is a damn good song. And there's so many elements. And I'm sorry, I'm apologize because a lot of times when I listen to the first track on the album, I'm a little long-winded. So I will be with this song again, but with the other ones, you know, I might be a little bit shorter. But I just have a lot to say. But yeah, this was a great song. I absolutely loved it. I love picking up all the little nuances and tidbits of information that I learned about the band, but also the influences. Because once I start thinking this came out in 1976, the band was influenced by Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, then you start hearing that in this song, especially Led Zeppelin. The vocal styles for Rob Halford were very Robert Plantish, as well as the rhythm and the style in the song. And I remember I said in my initial reaction was that there was nobody that was sounding like this in 76. Everyone had kind of transitioned their style and was going closer into hard rock and metal, but here you can still hear that fusion between rock and roll and the blues. And it's almost like they took that late 60s, early 70s style and kind of modernized it a little bit, because Rob Halford, he doesn't sound like this, or they don't even do this style going into the 80s and into the 90s. And so, yeah, it's just, there's, all right. Something Tasha and I were talking about earlier today was how music back in the day, especially in the 70s, was to give you an experience. It's not like how music is nowadays, where it's short, it's, you know, cut up for the radio to, you know, keep people entertained for their short attention span. But when you really listen to this song, there's so many different moving pieces. It has 2 solos in it from Glenn Tipton and KK Downey, as well as this beautiful ass bridge in here. But then there was this part in here that I was like, whoa, that just kind of blew me away and caught me off guard with Rob's vocals. Let me see. It was at around, and this is probably my favorite part of the song. Let me see. Around right here. Oh, right here. This was cool. This was so cool.
Get out! You know you really blew it! I've had enough! Good God! Lost me!
This was like a masterclass in crafting a phenomenal song. All right, and then one last part, and then we're gonna move on to the second track. This ending right here with Rob, with this guttural scream at the end. Or no, he's doing that high pitched falsetto voice, but right here. And then he goes into high-pitched falsetto stuff. So, yeah, this is a great song. There's so many pieces of this song that you can enjoy. I can understand why people could listen to it over and over and over again, because there's so many different moving parts that are just so good. All right, my thing is, if you're releasing an album, this is how you want to release it. This is how you're going to hook people. Get them excited for the first track, and we're going to jump into the second track and see if they do the same. Now, this is The Ripper. Let's jump into it, y'all. And leave your numbers and your scores in the chat. Let me know what you thought about it.
For surprise, you're in for a shock. In London town streets, when there's darkness and fog, when you least expect me, and you turn your back, I'll attack. I smile when I'm sneaking through shadows by the wall. I laugh when I'm creeping, but you won't hear me at all. Oh, hear my warning, never turn your back on the Ripper. You'll soon shake with fear, then never knowing if I'm near. I'm sly and I'm shameless, nocturnal and nameless, except for the Ripper, or if you like, Jack the Knife.
The Ripper. All right, so this is another great track. The main thing that I noticed with the lyrics, it's more like a telling of a scary story, and I love how he's like reading who he is: the Ripper, Jack the Ripper, serial killer, and the music is so creepy. It's like a scary movie. And so I like that. It's almost as if they're letting the music tell the story. Now, this is very interesting because now I know where the other lead singer of Judas Priest got his name from, because he goes by Tim the Ripper, or Tim Ripper Owens, I believe. And so he got that from this track, but I'm assuming that this is probably his favorite song. So that's really cool, because I hear a lot of y'all say that. Y'all always mention something about the Ripper every time we bring up Judas Priest. And so now I know where it came from. So this is cool. We're going to keep things going with the next track. This is Dreamer Deceiver. Okay. All right, let's do it. Leave your thoughts and your numbers in the chat for the Ripper, but let's go ahead and jump into this.
Standing by my window.
Oh, God. All right, something else. Man, these guys can sing. Do y'all remember that? In rock music, when the lead singers actually could sing and just not scream or growl? Jesus.
Standing by my window, breathing summer breeze, saw a figure floating neath the willow trees, asked us if we were we said we didn't know. Took us by the hands and up we go. We follow the dream.
Oh my God. I like that. He just went up like an octave. Guys, this was amazing. That was so cool. That was a good track. That was, oh man. Guys, y'all are witnessing my mind being blown. That was mind blowing. Oh, that was such an experience. Oh, Jesus. Man. You know, sometimes we kind of forget what it feels like to have music give you an experience. That was cool. I love how mellow and down tempo and slow the song starts. I'm not gonna pick this song apart, but I love how it builds into the song. They don't make music like this. You don't hear music like this anymore. It was like the song, it was its own organism. And they had enough time to just let it breathe. That solo was beautiful. It was mind-blowing. But my favorite part was when, let me see. Because the solo was like, it was almost like it was building, it was crescendoing. And then it just kicked in. Like everything just exploded. And then you hear the vocals kick in. And you're like, oh shit! You hear Ron's vocals come in. And the coolest thing about this is he changes octaves in the song. Like in the first two verses, he's singing very down-tempoed, very mellow. And then you hear it rise and it goes higher. There was a lot of control in his vocals. But just like with Victims of Changes, how you can hear the influence of this band, how you hear Zeppelin. And as I said, they said their influences were Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, and Queen, and one other band. This is Deep Purple right here. Let me know in the chat, what song from Deep Purple does this make you think of? From the tempo, from the song progression, from his vocals, what song from Deep Purple does this make you think of? Child in Time. That's right. Sweet Child in Time. Child in Time. Yes. 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 That's exactly what I heard. I was like, oh shit. These guys, they're on one. They're on one. All right. That's enough. I'm not going to, because I could probably spend another 15, 20 minutes analyzing this song, but we're going to keep things going because I know y'all got stuff to do. This is Deceiver. Let's go. album. Oh man, guys, this was Deceiver. I believe this is the 5th track. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th track on this album, Sad Wings of Destiny, in which this was another great song. A little bit more up tempo, harder rock than the previous songs that we listened to. And it really shows the versatility in this band. They don't have to do one style, nor does Rob's vocals stay in one space. Really shows his range, and I think the band is really showing their versatility. It almost feels like it's a preview or a precursor to what they end up doing in the 80s, which were songs that were a little bit more faster paced. Now, I know some of y'all feel a certain way about it, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and keep moving right along. We have Prelude. All right. I don't know what it's a prelude to, but we're about to find out. So leave your thoughts in the comment section. Also, if you guys are joining me, thank you so very much for being here. Right now, I am doing a full album reaction to Sad Wings of Destiny because y'all have told me how awesome this album is, and so far it hasn't disappointed. I am thoroughly enjoying this. So smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, but let's go ahead and jump into this. Dan, what's up, man? Yeah, Deceiver was short and sweet. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was just the right amount of music. Like it's building into something special.
Resist me not, surrender. I won't comply. humanity. Conqueror of all. Hideous destructor. Every natural fall. Mourn for our soul, rest in fear. Chained and shackled, we are bound. Freedom choked in dread, we live since tyrant was enthroned. I listen not to sympathy whilst ruler of this land. Withdraw your feeble apes and Moses, I must smite from this my hand. Captor of humanity, conqueror of all, hideous destructor, every man shall fall.
Oh my God.
Mourn for our soul, rest in fear. Chained and shackled, we are bound. Freedom choked in dread, we live since tyrant was enthroned. My legions faithful unto death, I'll summon to my court. And as you perish, each of you shall scream as you are sought. Captor of humanity, conqueror of all, hideous destructor, every man shall.
Oh man, guys, this is Judas Priest with Tyrant. Man, this was a great song. And it was great for so many reasons. Where do I start? Now, on the surface, when you listen to something like this, you think that it's just a rock song. But it's more than that. This was just as beautifully composed as Victim of Changes and Deceiver. I know some of y'all are probably like, T, you're crazy. No, the Victim of Changes and Dreamer of Deceiver, those are perfect. All right, I'm someone who, I love rock music, but I love metal. And the main thing I love about this channel is that I get the opportunity to explore all the different genres of metal. This came out in 1976. A lot of people are saying, oh, the birth of metal was in the 80s. No, this right here is heavy metal. This is like the beginning. Maybe there were other bands that had other music around the time, but for me, It's rare for me to hear a band that is producing music that would go on to be labeled as heavy metal. Because I know in 76 they weren't calling this heavy metal. Because you hear all the elements of metal music in this. It's almost like when rock was having a baby and they just made this bastard child of metal. And so now I know why. I know why a lot of long time fans, they call Judas Priest or Rob Halford the metal god. They don't call him the godfather or the father of metal. They call him metal god. Because from what I've heard from Black Sabbath, because people always want to credit Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne for this particular genre of music, but from the music that I heard from Sabbath around this time, it didn't sound like this. And maybe I need to explore more Sabbath. But this right here, you know, this was really crazy because I'm listening to it. I'm enjoying the music on the surface, but at the same time, I'm like, holy shit, you know, this came out in 1976. There was nobody sounding like this. This is before all the thrash metal bands that end up like, they like this. They listen to this, influenced them to make all the hit songs and stuff in the 80s. Oh man, guys, y'all have no idea how mind-blowing this experience is for me. This is really crazy. It's crazy, like, going back and thinking in retrospect after everything I experienced from the bands I listened to in the 80s and 90s, and then hearing the 70s make something like this. This is a big deal, and I don't think people realized it. Like, nobody mentions this shit. They're just like, oh yeah, Rob Halford, rock, metal god, hard rock. This ain't hard rock. This like skipped it. This skipped hard rock. You're listening to it, you're jamming, and then in this era you hear Tyrant. That is some beautiful shit right there. I could listen to this again. And the solos in this, everything about this track was so good. And you know what? I'll say this. This is my favorite Judas Priest song ever. I was blown away when I heard Painkiller. And I was like, oh yeah, Painkiller. Dun, 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 dun. Ah! No, this right here. This is a metal work of art. There should be like a plaque or something in a museum somewhere saying that like this started it. Oh. All right, I'm done. Rant over. Man, guys, we got 3 more tracks left. And I want to talk about this so bad. Because if you're a metalhead, especially if you've been there from the beginning, and maybe you never heard this song or whatever, but like this is so important right here. This song is so important. Anyway, Genocide. Yeah, I'm loving this album, y'all.
Of
guys in the chat.
Deceiver.
Let me know what this feels like to you.
I have endured.
What band do you think inspired
Yet the wounds I bear
this song?
are the wounds of love.
This is Genocide. Leave your thoughts and your numbers in the chat. Let me know what you thought about this track. Now, to me, this was another amazing track. Once again, it shows the versatility in his band. It lets you know that, you know, you're not going to get the same thing over and over again on this album. And that's something that we hear a lot. There's so many bands out there that have a signature sound. And when you listen to their music, you listen to an album, it's like the same song over and over and over again. But hearing this doesn't sound like Tyrant. It doesn't sound like Victim of Changes. It doesn't sound like Deceiver or Dreamer Deceiver. It's different. But it also lets me think about or hear another band that they were influenced by. Because the vibe I got from this was Thin Lizzy. And, you know, it's not a bad thing that Priest has been influenced by these artists, because many musicians are. It's normal. The main thing is when you're influenced by a band or artist or singer or whatever, that you take what the influence and then you make it your own. And that's what we've heard throughout this whole album. It's similar or stylistically, but it's different. It's their own stuff. But now I understand even more why fans, older fans, legacy fans, are upset or they don't like the newer stuff. Because I guess after the mid 80s or into the 90s, Painkiller, it just doesn't sound like this anymore. And that's what I said before when I heard, the first time I heard Run of the Mill, I was like, yo, this guy Rob, he can really sing. Not just like, you know, a lot of metalheads, they'll be like, oh yeah, listen to Painkiller and listen to whatever album that was on. I can't think of whatever album it was on. But they were like, oh, he can hit these high ass falsetto vocals. And at first, like, the shock value of it's like, oh wow. But really, it's kind of like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, when I listen to a song, I want to hear the person sing. And this guy can really sing. I think that's what puts him above a lot of other metal artists out there, metal vocalists. Because they can't sing worth a damn. Or they have like a gimmicky style. But this dude, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so this was a great track. We're going to go ahead and continue. But let me know if you're kind of feeling me on the vibe that I'm getting from this. You're literally hearing the merger between rock and early heavy metal. Or rock and metal, which produced the bastard child of heavy metal. But also, I started this reaction because I started this reaction by saying that I wanted to hear y'all's reception to this album, how it was when it came out. What were the kids talking about, or the teenagers, or whatever, the young adults? What was everyone saying when this album came out? Because now we can look back and we can say, oh, this is a masterpiece. Oh, this album was cool. But everybody knows that when things are happening in real time, it's not really like that. A lot of times people will say that certain artists, bands, or music sucked. But then after a couple of years, upon reflection, they can go back and really appreciate what was going on at the time. Now, I can appreciate it from my perspective because of everything that I've kind of heard now and before. But at the time when this came out, when you were 10 years old, 5, when you were 7, 17, 20, what were people saying about this? Because I have a gut feeling in my heart that y'all weren't ready. 1976, y'all were not ready for this album. Anyway, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe when this came out, it was mind-blowing and everyone just was completely blown away. But I doubt it. Anyway, this is Epitaph.
Sitting there, his head bowed down. Every now and then, he'll take a look around, and his eyes reflect the memory pain of years gone by.
He can't regain nostalgic dreams he'll never see again.
With trembling hands, wipes a tear. Many fall like rain. There's one for every year, and his life laid out so clearly now. Life that's but death.
So nearly now, like once he
Doesn't sound
clung too dearly. Now let's go.
But spare a thought as you passing by. Take a closer look and you'll say,
Yeah, he's showing off his vocals.
and soon forgot.
He's letting people know that he can sing.
Only wind and leaves lament his
This is
morning
definitely
song.
this is
Yet they
Bohemian
shout
Rhapsody.
his epitaph out clear for anyone who's passing near. It names the person lying here as you. And you. And you. And you.
You hear the guitars coming in? These guys, they are so talented. They are so good. They knew what they were doing.
Take heed. Our time is near.
Oh man. That was good. That was so good. That was their Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh yeah.
They smash through the clouds into the light of the moon. Their steeds will go jogging, call destruction and doom. Trousers in fall, hell had broken loose on this night. And all in all, it was a terrible sight. Now we're taken unto the island of domination. We're gonna get out of this place. There's a man with a needle who's bleeding to get to my face. Hide me and hold me, control free as best that you can. It's all becoming too much, I can't go for one man. Now we're taken unto the island of domination.
Hear that? The guitar just got fuzzy. Oh man. Y'all hear that? The guitar just got fuzzy. And tempo slowed down. Got real sluggish. Black Sabbath. Guys, this is Judas Priest's Island of Domination. Now, as I said in the chat, this as well as Epitaph, I felt like were one song. And Epitaph was kind of like the precursor for Island of Domination. To me, this felt like Judas Priest's Bohemian Rhapsody. Because when you think about it, there weren't too many rock bands that had like slow melodic piano openings. And I can imagine a lot of, and this is why I said some of y'all probably weren't ready for this back in the 70s, because I can't imagine a rock and roller who's in his teens, after hearing a bunch of awesome songs, they get to this track and they're like, oh, this is piano playing. But to me, it was really Rob showcasing his vocals, the fact that he can really sing, you know. But going with Island of Domination, it's a very beautiful song. It's just like Bohemian Rhapsody. You can't listen to half of the song. You can't listen to the part where Freddie Mercury explodes and, you know, goes into the song without hearing the beginning. That's like the build up to it. You know, it's like you can't have one without the other. So for me, that's what this was. But also in Island of Domination, you know, it's more upbeat, faster pace. You know, you're getting back into that rock vibe. But halfway into the song, the tempo slows down. The guitars get fuzzy. And I'm like, holy shit, this is Black Sabbath. So, you know, the craziest thing about this album is that I feel like you can appreciate it from just a normal perspective, from like a listener. Like you can listen to it, you be like, oh yeah, it was a cool album, it was okay. But I feel like in order to truly, really appreciate this album, you have to know of the bands that came before. And that's how I know that Judas Priest, maybe at the time, they were like, they really studied their shit. They really studied their stuff. Because if you're like a real true rock and roller, you can pick up all the nuances. You can pick up all the stylings from all the other bands. And maybe you didn't recognize it until I pointed it out. But for me, a lot of this stuff is still fresh in my mind. You know, because I'm listening to it all the time. Now, I know for some of y'all, you know, the songs are overplayed and played out and you don't think about them anymore. But a lot of times when I hear some of these hits, like the other day, we played Kickstart My Heart from Motley Crue, and people are like, oh, this song is overplayed and it's overdid. And I'm like, it's still fresh to me. You know, it's like a hit. To me, it doesn't get overplayed until you've heard it for 4 or 5 years or so. You know, but if I just heard it, you know, a year ago, 6 months ago, yeah, it's still cool. But yeah. So this was a great song. I love this journey. This was a great experience. And I just want to thank y'all for introducing me to this album. Because I'm going to be listening to it on repeat just to see what else I can pick up. But yeah, this was good. So y'all can let me know what your favorite song on this album was. If I have to give this a score out of 10, I give it a 10. 10 out of 10. This is a perfect album. You can listen to it from beginning to end, all the way through. There aren't any bad tracks. Even the slower, more down tempo, or even the piano playing, Epitaph, some could say, oh, this is a weak track, but it builds right into Island of Domination. So it's great. My favorite song on this album, I want it to be Victim of Changes or even Dreamer, Deceiver, but the metalhead inside me is going with Tyrant. So I have to say Tyrant is my favorite song on this album, but it's also my favorite Judas Priest song. Because when you listen to it, I don't just hear a song, but I hear history. So for me, it's a little bit deeper than just like Tyrant. I mean, I do like the Tyrant. Man, somebody needs to remaster this or redo it. They gotta redo it. So I'm thinking, like, how the hell did y'all go from this Oh man, this is gonna be a wild journey. Maybe I need to do more Judas Priest albums. Y'all let me know. I have to know how they went from that what we just listened to to this. Not saying this is bad. This is great. But the 80s must have been wild. Like, you still hear so much talent. There's so much talent in their music. All right. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. We're not gonna get into metal. Anyway, yeah. I think if y'all are down for the journey, then we'll explore the Judas Priest albums all the way up into Painkiller. Cause you know this album, I've heard this album so many times, and it's so good. But it's so funny because this album was actually the introduction for a lot of people into Judas Priest, and they probably never went back further. They probably never heard Sad Wings of Destiny. Damn, that's crazy. I think that there are people out there that probably don't even know how truly talented this band is. To be able to make music like what we just listened to on their second album, sophomore album, and then to continue on consistently with good albums up until the 90s, that's very, very hard to do. And a lot of the bands that came before them that influenced them weren't able to do that. So maybe I'll talk about that later. That might be another discussion that we have. How certain bands don't have the longevity. Even though they get the fame and recognition, they don't have the longevity because maybe the talent wasn't there. But we're not going to do that today. Anyway, guys, thank y'all so very much for hanging out with me today. Like, share, and subscribe. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Don't be a lurker. But let me know in the comment section what album we should explore next, whether it's Judas Priest or somebody else. Anyway, I'm getting up out of here. As always, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Take care. Peace.